Hadouken!
What is up, guys? Now you know we're the plug and we're here to hook you up, and we ain't talking no bullshit hookups either, fam. From grow lights to fertilizers, if you need dry or liquid organic fertilizers, Neptune's Harvest has got you covered. Made by growers for growers, Neptune's Harvest has some of the best fish fertilizer around. Not just that, but their crab and lobster shell, the stuff is amazing. Lots of people don't always realize this, but after filleting a fish, there's lots of great stuff that remains, but may just go to waste. Now Neptune's Harvest was able to turn that amazing stuff into some great fertilizer that's used by many gardeners across the globe. Your plants will love you for it, dude. From veg and flower nutrients to loads of other organic inputs that you can work into your existing feeding schedules, it's truly amazing. Use the discount code ICANTHC for a nice discount on all Neptune's Harvest products. Perfect. Now, light is also super important to get the best quality and product. The sun is perfect, but for those times when we can't harness the sun, the Moss Hydro Grow Lights never disappoint. Their full spectrum LEDs, they rock! They've got quantum board, bar style lights, they've got all types of styles. Their lights come with external dimmers, some models even have awesome detachable features as well. So use the discount code ICANTHC and snag a discount on your lights, exhaust systems, and more, even your grow tents, dude. Perfect. Now Qualitrips has some awesome gear, and their germination booster is truly amazing. Definitely couple up their germination booster with some of their gear for amazing results. Discount code ICANTHC works on all Qualitrips gear. Now smash the like button down below, hit that bell, roll one up, and let's get ready to toke it down on today's episode.
We're about to take it back.
Okay.
Yes, guys, and we are back with another episode on the Talkin' Loud podcast, where we discuss everything dank, sticky, icky, gassy, and all that good stuff. And today, I got a super special guest on the show, man, and I'm super happy to have him on because he's like a cup winner. He's doing a lot of different things out here. He's also a co-founder of the CannaBuzz app. He's doing some great stuff on there as well for the community, and I'm just super happy to have on JR Tokin, man. How's it going, brother?
Really good. Super stoked to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah, man. Most definitely, man. I've actually been following you for some time. I went out at the DGC Cup. I saw you out there growing some awesome flowers. Like, you've been growing some awesome flowers on your page for a super long time now, man. So I can't wait to get into some of that, dude. But just to like get things, started, I like to just ask people, how things going on over on your side of the lake or your side of the pond. How's things growing over where you're kicking it at?
Well, I'm over here in Oregon, and things are going good. Things are pretty chill for us. Obviously, there is a really large amount of cannabis around. So obviously, if you're out there and you're a local grower and you want to try to get stuff done, your stuff better be on point.
Yeah, I got you, man. And one thing I gotta say is that your stuff always seems to be on point, dude. Like, your flowers on your Instagram, man, is proof in the pudding. Out of the DGC Cup, I literally saw you take second place out of all those flowers. I think there were like over 60 entries, dude. So that just goes to show you're growing some awesome flowers. And not just that, man, I mentioned in the intro, you're doing some awesome stuff for the community in terms of CannaBuzz, man. So I can't wait to get into all that, man. So guys, smash the like button if you know what JR is doing, if you know about some of the stuff that he's doing, if you've seen some of those awesome flowers, man. Definitely hit the like for that and drop a comment down below, man. But just to get things also started off, man, another question I like to ask is about the name, man. JR Tokin. How did that name come about, dude? What's the inspiration behind it?
It's funny you say that because back in the I think it was Google days, they had a social media app, and I signed up on an account, and obviously I didn't want to use my real name.
Yeah.
And that was when all the Lord of the Rings movies were out. And I just thought, like, instead of J.R. Tolkien, it's J.R. Tokin.
Dude, I never thought that, man. That's really cool, man. I did not expect that one, man. And I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, you know, like Harry Potter. That's all around like the era
Yeah.
and time when I started to actually read books and shit. Oh man, amazing, dude. Man. But another thing I did want to ask, dude, is like, you know, CannaBuzz is like something that I think is really important because a lot of growers out here and content creators who decide to post their grows have been facing a lot of, you know, censorship, you know, a lot of platform censorship, pages getting deleted, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, you know, there's just a lot of censorship, man. You got to abide by their rules, play by the rules, or you're out. So, have you had any issues with that, man? Like, you know, I know you're a huge fan and a huge part of the DGC fam. I've got my DGC hat on, man, and unfortunately, the DGC channel was taken down recently. You know, so you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, first I'll start off with the Dude Grows situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a tragedy for the show. We had kind of put all of our eggs in one basket by, you know, putting everything on YouTube and not really, you know, spreading out to other media platforms and building communities there. So we started getting strikes, and then they wouldn't let us upload, and then we just kind of went back and forth with it, and eventually they just killed our channel. And so, you know, that was devastating. So we set up a link tree on our Instagram account, so you can go on the link tree and you can see all the different media outlets that the Do Grow Show is going to be posting to now. And that kind of leads me into how CannaBuzz got started. Back in the day, I was my YouTube channel. I think I started my YouTube channel in 2015,
Okay.
and I was one of the first wave of channels to get deleted when they started doing all this stuff.
The Purge.
And it was because they were transferring over to children's content and also being able to be casted on TV, which means they had to deal with the FCC and the federal government. So I believe that's when all of those waves of channels being deleted started, and started the whole community guidelines thing and people getting strikes and stuff like that. So I was frustrated with that back then, and I met up with my partner Q Grows at Emerald Cup, and we just sat down and kind of talked about it, and we wanted to come up with a solution, and so we developed CannaBuzz. Um, it's a cannabis social media platform, but it's not just the app on your phone. It also has a website that you can upload larger videos if you're a podcaster or something like that.
Got you.
So basically, CannaBuzz was started in response to all the corporate social media basically having no love for our community. And
Literally.
so we built that space for our community. We also allow psilocybin and mushroom posting as well. So that community is also very much welcome as a part of our community. But yeah, we built it, and we just hope that people come, you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I've actually signed up for CannaBuzz like quite a while back, man. I think it was like a few months back. Well, I'd like to say since last year, when my Instagram account first got taken down, I was like, you know, I gotta look for some alternative out here because Instagram shows us no love. You know, YouTube is pretty much doing the same thing as of late. Like, there's been a real crackdown within the past few weeks. Like, I know a lot of content creators, just like myself, have been facing a lot of those issues. So we're always out here looking for alternatives, man. So I think that you guys, you know, taking the initiative to just come up with the app, create something, a safe space for growers, a safe space for creators, a safe space for people who want to grow the plant, and don't be demonized because they're posting or talking about it. You know, I think that's fantastic, man. And the inspiration behind it as well was really important. So how long ago did you guys actually start off, you know, with the app and all that stuff?
I think we launched 4/20/2019.
Wow.
And we
Perfect.
were making really good progress, especially once Instagram started deleting people's accounts. And shout out to Koala Puffs. she came on to CannaBuzz and went on Instagram and said, hey everybody, come on over here. And so we got a huge response from that.
Yeah.
So we're always grateful for that. But yeah, so we're just we're trying to build the platform, and we're really wanting to get, like I said, the community involved, so that we have a safe space where no one's going to get deleted.
Hell yeah, dude. That is like I keep saying, man, it's super important for that because the risk of deletion is real. Like a lot of creators, a lot of growers, they put time and effort into posting their pictures, creating videos out of their pictures, putting videos together and making a little video, just documenting their growth. That's all they're really doing. A lot of people aren't, trying to breach community guidelines or actually do anything like that. They're literally just trying to show what they've done, show their little bit of happiness, their creation, and to be targeted in that way and stuff, it's really, really difficult, man. So again, props to you guys, man. And guys, drop it in the comments if you know about CannaBuzz. If you're not on there, I suggest you definitely go and give it a look. Download it. You can get it on Apple Store, I believe, and Google Play, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah, man. So give it a download and check it out. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I'm on there, so definitely give me a follow as well. I would appreciate that. And give JR one as well, man. But you guys also do a lot of different stuff on there. I know you guys have some shows and stuff that you guys do on there. So you want to tell us a little bit about that, dude?
Yeah, we have what's called Cannabis Sessions, and we do Wednesday live events.
Yeah.
And so what we like to do is get people from the community, and we're really trying to reach out to more than just growers and breeders. We would really love to have folks like yourself come on and talk about the podcasting part of the community. And so we want to reach out to the whole community, the community as a whole.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to mention about CannaBuzz is we don't put any posts in your feeds. So the only thing you're going to see is from the people that are your friends.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people come on CannaBuzz and it's slow for them because you got to build your community. It takes a minute to get yourself out there and to meet people.
Yeah.
And so we really recommend that you look at the groups that maybe you're interested in and try to meet people. We did have a problem where we were having a lot of scammers come into people's DMs.
Okay.
So we set it up to where you can only DM someone if you're a friend with them and they're a friend with you.
I got you.
So that way random people can't just drop in the DMs and try to get you to their fans only page or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Man, I love to come on there and kick it with you guys and talk about anything, man. I'd honestly love that. That'll be awesome. And like I keep saying, man, there are a lot of great stuff that you guys are doing over there. And that point that you mentioned as well about it being a little bit slow at first, but you just need to build your community up a little bit. I think that's a really, really great point, dude, because honestly, there are times when you may go on to a new app and you may be like, okay, this is moving a little bit slow. You don't have a lot of friends on there yet. I'm just not going to go on there anymore. I'm going to stick with something else. But it's all about giving things a try and taking the time just to let that build up, because a lot of your friends that are on some of these Instagram platforms are facing the same difficulties that we are, dude, like the DGC. I know Basement Autoflowers got some strikes. I know Homegrow TV got some strikes. I know I got some strikes. A lot of people are getting strikes out of here. Shout out to Photosynthetic as well, man. He got some strikes as well. So a lot of people are looking for these alternatives. So a lot of your friends will actually be on there, a lot more than you may actually think at first. So great point. Thanks for raising that, JR. Appreciate that one.
No problem. No problem.
Hell yeah, man. And another thing I wanted to ask, man, is that, I was super, super stoked to be able to pretty much kick it with you out at the DGC Cup, man, and just meet you at CannaCon, man. It was a really great experience. And here we are just, having a blast, man. It was an awesome time, dude. And you go to like quite a lot of events, dude. Like I've seen you at a bunch of different events and stuff. And, the DGC Cup and the DGC squad seems to be a family. You guys are really a family, and you guys have been you've been repping DGC for quite some time. So can you just tell us a little bit about how it all started?
Yeah. I think back in 2014, I think it was.
Yeah.
I started using Recharge from Real Growers.
Oh, yeah.
And I would go onto the YouTube and I would search, for marijuana content. And one day the Dude Grow show came up, and I heard Scotty on there mentioning that he was the guy who does recharge. So I messaged him, and we kind of started talking, and I kind of started writing into the show and asking questions and trying to help with content, and it kind of started there. And then I've done I've wore quite a few hats with the Do Grow show. I actually launched their IG page,
Shit,
and
dope, bro.
if you look at the beginning of the IG account, it was mostly stuff that I had posted and done. And then now we've had other, we have One-Eyed Cat Cannabis, who's doing a fantastic job
Yeah.
with our social media. And then I was booking interviews, and I set up an event here in the Northwest. And so I've done a few different hats for the Do Grow show over the years. And
Awesome.
yeah, we are a family. I love my bros.
Hell yeah, man. I love that, man. That is awesome, bro. I was just like, always seeing you there, man. Always rapping DGC. And I know the love is strong, man. I'm always seeing you guys out there. I always see you with your Uncle Jim, man. And yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Uncle Jim, man. Huge
Shout
shout
out
out
to
to
Uncle
Uncle Jim,
Jim.
man. Big ups to him, dude. I see him all the time with you, man. That's like your right hand man. I saw him out of the DGC Cup. I took a picture. I was like, yo, Uncle Jim, we got to get a pic, dude. He's like a real celeb, and he doesn't even know it, man.
He's awesome, man. He's amazing. I mean, he works circles around me. Me and him just took down my room, trimmed everything, reset the room, and yeah, he's a soldier for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. Literally, man. And I saw a video with him, like he was just there, and I think you were recording the video, and he was just there waiting, like just for it to kick into gear. And he was like, "Hey guys, it's Uncle Jim. Welcome back to another episode." And I was like, I love this man. Like his vibes, his personality. He's such a cool cat, man. You guys rock, honestly. Friggin' hell, man. But I was able, like I said, I was able to kick with you out at the DGC Cup, dude, and it was awesome, bro. We had an awesome time. And you won actually the second place trophy out there, man. So props to you on that. If you guys don't know, like I keep saying, he's growing some awesome flowers. He's winning trophies with these flowers. And the beautiful thing is that this is not just any old trophy. This is out at the DGC Cup. It's a community of growers. And the beautiful thing is that the growers out there, it was like a complete blind grow off. Like everyone put their stuff into jars. We had it sample out on tables. You only identified it by number, and everyone sampled everyone else's flower. Everyone sampled flower. And for you to be able to win with the most amount of votes, that literally just goes to show that you were definitely growing some of that fire, man. So props to you on that, man. How did it feel to bring home second place in the DGC Cup, dude?
I think it was probably the most thrilling thing that's ever happened to me since my last child was born.
I love that, man. I love that, man. Honestly, I saw it on your face. Like, I think I mentioned that out to you at CannaCon. Like, I did a seed to harvest video on some grow. I think it was probably the Mac and Jack by Ethos Genetics, and I ran a Synganic approach similarly to what you did. Because when you grabbed that mic and you were up there, receiving your trophy and stuff, you were like, "Yeah, I ran a Synganic approach and a little bit of recharge my microbes." So tell us a little bit about that, dude.
Back in the day when I first started growing indoors in 2003, I started under a guy who was basically a salt grower.
Okay.
But over time, he got introduced to a product called Azos and Mycos from Extreme Gardens.
Okay.
And so that's what put me on the path of microbes. And that's how I found recharge. And I started understanding what organic inputs and microbes can do for your rhizosphere. And so that was really interesting to me. But yet at the same time, I always use my base nutrients because they are chelated. So they're automatically available to the root zone. So while I'm waiting for all that microbe interaction to start happening and start delivering, and the microbes also store nutrients, I also have my chelated nutrients that are being uptaken by the plant. So it's kind of like a all-you-can-eat buffet to where the plant's getting what it needs, but the microbes are not typically going to burn your plant, so they're not going to over deliver. Your plant's not going to
Yeah.
ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the combination of the two seem to really work well. The main products that I use for microbes are Recharge, and I use the Mammoth P in flower, and I also use Azos on the root zone every time I transplant.
I got you. Yeah, and that really does help to build the root zone as well. I've heard great things about the Mammoth P, and man, just the fact that you're running that Synganic approach, because typically a lot of people will be like either one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm a Synganic or I'm an organic grower. And when I asked Scotty on the show, because we had Scotty on the show, shout out to Scotty, man, he was like, "Man, don't get me started with this Synganic stuff, man. Don't get me started." So I love that, man, and I love that you're growing some flower that you're getting pretty much the best of both worlds, because a lot of
Yeah.
people say the organics that brings out better taste, but
Yes.
if you're doing a Synganic approach and you're getting the best of both worlds, which is clearly evidenced by the fact that a lot of growers love the flower that you grow just by the taste out of the DGC cup, then we've got to be doing something right, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I think I started this style of Synganic growing in 2015. I made my first YouTube videos talking about Botanicare, Recharge, and Big Bloom as a
Gotcha.
combination for veg.
Yeah.
Now over time, I've added a little more to my veg nutrient, but I go over all of that on my YouTube channel. I
Perfect.
show the board, what I feed, how much I feed, and stuff like that. So, everything I do is out there, and everyone is more than welcome to, access that information and do with it what they will.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. And man, you honestly dropping some crazy knowledge out there, growing some amazing flowers. And yeah, I just think that you're a huge inspiration, dude. Like a lot of people, can look up to you for more reasons than one. They can look up to you because you're growing some awesome flower. You're merging two previously thought like separated fields, just putting them together and showing that you can actually build your microbes. You can use your recharge and you can use a little bit of synthetics in there as well if you need to, and you can call it Synganic and you can grow some fire, man. But like I was mentioning, a lot of people do look up to you. A lot of people you got a lot of followers on Instagram, you got a lot of subscribers on your YouTube channel. So guys, definitely follow him on Instagram and check out his YouTube channel. But like there are a lot of people in the community who are facing different sorts of challenges, different sorts of adversities and stuff. And you've got a little bit of an adversity as well. You've got a little bit of a problem with your leg. So you just go into that a little bit and just tell us a little bit about how gardening has really helped you to sort of overcome that.
Yeah, I actually got started with the medical program for growing in Oregon in 2003 because I was looking for alternatives besides narcotics.
Yeah,
The surgeons and the doctors back then, especially, they would give you anything and everything you wanted.
yeah,
So you could literally be comatose on your bed if you wanted.
yeah.
And so I started finding that that route was depriving me of my quality of life.
I got
Yeah,
you.
I wasn't in much pain, but I was drooling on myself and I wasn't really communicating and being present for my family. And so I started looking towards cannabis
Yeah,
as a way to kind of break away from that cycle, and it's really changed my life. I mean, it has absolutely changed my life. I select varieties that work for pain. So like I don't really grow daytime weed or energetic weed. I grow weed that's heavy,
I
that
got
hit
you.
that hits you hard and kind of turns off
Yeah,
that signal,
yeah,
when you're constantly getting that pain signal. it really sucks. So
I
to
got
be able to just, kind of dull it out, really helps a lot. And then I got stage 2 colon cancer about 3 years ago. And I started doing FICO, or full extract cannabis oil, full spectrum oil.
you. Okay.
And that actually ended up being a real game changer because, um, when you digest cannabis, your liver converts that delta 9 to a delta 11, and it completely affects your body in a different way than inhaling cannabis. And so I found even more pain relief and a greater ability to sleep at night, because when you deal with chronic pain, the nights can be hell.
Yeah.
And so to be able to take some, I call it RSO. I give Rick the glory because he's the one who kind of put it on the map. So I take RSO every night before I go to bed, and it helps me sleep at night. I mean, I really have a lot better nights than I ever used to. So
Wow.
after having cancer and turning on to RSO, it was really a game changer. So yeah, I still suffer and I have bad days and good days, but the good days are more, and I do a lot better than I ever did before.
Amazing, man. I'm really, really happy to hear that, dude. Because, like I said, man, you're a huge inspiration for a lot of people, man. Going through something like that and be able to pull out on the other side, being able to stand here and smile and hold this trophy and let everyone know that I grew this, man, and this is some awesome stuff. And you guys loved it, and you guys actually voted for it, and that's why I'm holding this friggin' trophy, man. So props to you on that, man. You're a massive motherfucking inspiration, dude, to so many people, dude, including myself, man. And like I said, I'm super happy to be able to kick it with you right now, man. This is like one of my top goals out there right now. I'm like kicking with JR, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. Honestly, man, props to you on that, dude.
Thanks,
Um,
bro. I appreciate the kind words.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%, man. And you got like a great community of people behind you as well, dude. And that's one thing I just wanted to point out, man. A lot of the times it's not about just doing stuff on your own, just trying to get through things by yourself. There's a lot of people around you. You've got a beautiful family, you've got a beautiful wife, you've got a beautiful family, you've got a beautiful community of people as well in your Instagram and your social media. And all those people, they're always dropping comments, showing love. And I think that's super important, man. So you guys, all you guys watching right now, you guys are part of the community, man. So smash the like button for that, smash the like button for JR. And I think that that's the perfect time to just segue into the Know Your Bud segment, man. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Hell yeah, man. Well, the Know Your Bud segment is pretty much a segment where I ask you a couple questions. There's no right or wrong answer. But what I like to say is that everyone that comes on to the show is my bud. And I like to find out what they do with their buds. So let's get into it, man. And guys, this segment is sponsored by Qualiterps. Hell yeah, man. So first off, the first question I think I'm gonna get started with is paper towel, glass of water, or germination, or straight into the soil. What's your preference and why?
Paper towel. It's just how I learned to do it back in high
Got you.
school,
Yeah.
and I learned it from my plants and whatever teacher in my freshman year. And so I've kind of evolved with that a little bit. So what I do is I take a seed mat and I have it thermostatically controlled to 76 degrees. I put the probe inside a shoebox. I set my seeds inside a wet paper towel, put them in a bag, label them, put them in the shoebox, and then close the lid so it's dark. So I'm getting my temperatures exactly where I want them for germination, and they're in the dark, they're in the moist. And usually if they're fresh genetics, like when Brad from Raw sends me new stuff, within 24 hours, they're out of the seed and ready to rock.
Yeah.
But older stuff could take longer. I've had older stuff take 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So it just depends, I think, on how fresh the hormones are on the outer shell of the seed.
Got you.
But yeah, that's my germination method for sure.
Nice, man. I like that one. It actually got me laughing, man, because it took me back to when I was in like primary school, I think, and they had like paper towel. You grab a red bean or some sort of bean, and you put it in there and germinate that shit, bro. And no one on the show has ever mentioned that that was where they got it from before. So shout out to you on that, bro. I love that one. Alrighty, man. Next question is feminized or regs? What's your preference? Tough one, I know.
That's super tough because I've always loved regs because deep down inside, I've always wanted to have the option to breed if I want to.
Yeah.
But like when I'm doing pheno hunting and testing, obviously it's easier to have femmes because you don't have to send your samples off to Farmer Freeman for sex testing. Shout out to Farmer Freeman.
Shout out. Hell yeah.
But yeah, so that makes it a lot easier. One thing I will say is I back, before when I would do regs, I would do 5 or 6 or more, knowing that I'd probably have a few males in there,
Gotcha.
and then I would cull those out and have what was left. Well, I didn't really think about it, and so I cracked 6 feminized, and of course all of them are female. So now I've got 6 phenos that I've got to test at once and keep backed up so that I don't lose it if it's a really good pheno. And so I just created a nightmare for myself.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's just like habit, man. You're just so used to like popping a bunch of them because you know you got to cull a few males. You popped a batch of femmes. You're like, oh shit.
They're all females.
Yeah, I like that one, dude. And you actually
And I will
mentioned
I will say for people who
yeah,
have limited space, like say you're in a 2x4 tent or even like a 4x4 tent,
yeah,
doing femmes is going to allow you to make sure your tent's full. If you
yeah.
do regs
So true.
in a 2x4, one of your plants or even both of them are males, you're starting all over again.
Facts, dude, 100%. And that actually happened to me recently, man. I popped a few femmes and they actually turned out to be Hermes, man. So I saw
Mm.
balls and flowers, and you know you got to wait for the flowers to develop and then the balls develop. So I was like, damn, I've just lost like 2 or 3 plants now. Like, I gotta reset. This shit sucks, dude. Man, and you also mentioned, bro, that you can send your small cotyledon leaves and stuff in for testing, man. So some people may not actually know about that. So can you just, break down, how you do that?
Sure. The beautiful thing about Farmer Freeman is you can do any leaf sample. You don't. It doesn't
Oh,
have to be the cotton leaf. It can be any leaf sample.
mind
Uh,
blown, dude. Fuck.
you hit his website. You order. I think within 3 days, you've got the test on your doorstep. You cut a little sample off the leaf,
Yeah,
put it in an envelope. It comes with a tag. You put that tag in your soil so
gotcha.
you can match it up. You
Yeah,
know what you got,
yeah,
and then you send it off to him. And he's really super fast about testing and responding. And the nice thing is I can crack seeds. I can be in a solo cup and know what the sex of the plant is before I even transplant it out of the solo cup. And so that's
mind
good. That's
blowing.
going to save you a lot of time, nutrients, lights, all that. So being able to just blast off a test real quick, you've got 6 in solos, you know which ones are males, females, and you just go from there.
Yeah, and I think I've actually got it up right now. I've actually not tried it, but this is pretty awesome stuff, man. So shout out to you. I've heard of different people trying it, but I've not actually heard of Farmer Freeman. And this is like game-changing stuff. It's time-saving stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that you were able to drop that one on the channel, man. Appreciate you for that, dude. But the next question though, hydro or soil? What's your preference and why?
Soil for sure.
Hell
I like to have a battery backup. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I also like the interactions between the organic materials and the root zone and the microbes.
true.
You can use microbes in hydro; it's not impossible. But I'm just more of a natural type person. I don't grow for for quantity. I grow for quality.
Yeah, I like that, man. I'm actually pretty similar to you as well, man. A lot of people are super they get super caught up with the yield. You know, I want a
Yeah.
huge yield, I want a massive yield. What's the biggest yielding strain you got? Like,
Yeah.
dude, like personally, I want to find something that's super tasty because if I got a whole bunch of bullshit, bro, I'm gonna have a tough time getting through it, dude. And that can be
Yeah.
painful.
Would you rather take 20 bong hits to get high or two?
Exactly, exactly. I love that one, man. So next question though is photo periods or autoflowers? What's your preference? Another
Um, I
controversial.
don't I don't like autoflowers. I have a buddy who sent me some OG autoflower by Mephisto Genetics.
Yeah,
And if you are going to do a autoflower, I highly recommend Mephisto Genetics. So I'm going to test that one and see if it changes my mind because he seems to think that it might. But I've grown autoflowers over the last 6 years off and on, and I've probably grown them like 6 or 7 different times. And I have never gotten an autoflower that I like or that it would what I would be considered on the same level as the photo periods I grow.
I got you.
The other disadvantage I think of autos is that it's a one-time shot. You know, you don't really get a chance to clone it and back it up and keep a keeper. And they're also a lot of them are really different from one seed to the next. So there's not, in my opinion, a lot of consistency in the autoflower expression.
Yeah, I got you.
So I prefer photo period, to be honest with you.
I got you. I like that, man. Interesting points as well, because I think that a lot of people may agree with that. I know there are a lot of auto people who love autos, but I think a lot of people probably happen to agree with what you said, man. But the next question is synthetic or organic? What's your preference?
You know me, I'm both.
That was a little bit of a trick question for this guy. I like that one. Okay, this question was actually pretty controversial, man. And for like 3 episodes running, I think we've got a controversial answer. So let's hear this one for you. Wet trim or dry trim?
Absolutely dry trim. Um, I think wet trim just beats the shit out of your gland heads. They're marring them when you're trying to get through all that wet green
Yeah,
material. I think it can smear chlorophyll all over your plants. Not a huge fan at all. Never have been. I think also when you wet trim, a lot of people dry just individual nugs,
yeah,
and it doesn't dry the same. Like me, I'll cut the plant off, hang it upside down in a bucket, what I call bucket, and that means I'm taking off every fan leaf that has a stem.
got
If
you.
the fan leaf has a stem on it, it's off. And then that way, when I go to hang and dry, I'm whole plant hanging. And then when it dries and I trim, everything I trim is ready for hash. I don't have to separate a bunch of brown or crappy fan leaves. It's all primo, ready to go
Yeah.
hash material
Fuck.
or pre roll or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, I got you. Smart, man. That's freaking smart. I was actually going to ask you about your drying and curing process because you dry. I saw like you had a picture of the pant, like it almost looked like you just hung it up right after you cut it down, and
Yeah.
you got some awesome flowers off that thing, man. So, how long do you dry? How long do you cure for? What's your ideal time frame?
I always dry in my flower room because that's where I have the best environmental
Gotcha.
control. I set my mini split goes down to 62, so I drop it down to 62.
Yeah.
For the first 3 days, I run it at about 55% humidity, just to make sure things kind of start progressing how you want it to. And then after 3 days, I bump that up to 60% humidity,
Perfect.
and then I kind of try to ride in that zone.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotcha.
sometimes it gets up to 63, 64, and that makes me start to freak out. And then, it gets down to 58, and then,
Feel a
so I'm
little
really
better.
trying to be right in that zone.
Yeah.
And usually on day 12 is when I start trimming. And then I'll put everything in a paper bag. for a day, and just kind of let the moisture from the inner part of the flower kind of come out without, because if you go trim right into the jar, a lot of people make that mistake of not, and they tell you to burp, but if you're not on the burping, it can really affect the outcome of your flower.
Yeah.
And,
Facts.
and the way things off gas, you really got to be on it. You don't want to over burp it. You don't want to, you know what I mean? So I like to just let it set in a paper bag overnight for 24 hours.
I like that.
And it just kind of evens it all out. And then I jar it. I pretty much jar it all up.
I like that, man. That's like a little hack for you guys there. If you didn't get any hacks on this channel before, that's definitely one for you guys. So try that one out. And the next question, dude, is bong or joint? What's your preference?
I'm a bong hitter.
Hell yeah.
I started smoking weed in the 80s on the Oregon coast, and we didn't really have brick weed or like commercial weed. A lot of the loggers and fishermen lost their jobs, so they started growing indoors to feed their families. So in my community, the only thing that was really marketable or desired was the indoor bud. And we, in the 80s, we were famous in our town for our skunk bud. We were really famous for our skunk bud. So
Fuck.
I grew up taking bong hits, just little single bong hits. Of course, they were always like ceramic or or those plastic bongs
Yeah.
with aluminum downstem and the one hitter. So that's where I really started learning, taking one hit little bong hits, because a joint is great for maybe the half of the joint, but the second half of the joint starts to not taste as well.
Yeah.
And so I
That can
really
happen.
want to get the flavor of each hit. So that's why I like bong hits. Also, I think bong hits, especially if you put ice in the chamber, it's a lot cooler smoke hitting your lungs. And if you're hitting joints, that fire is really close to your lungs and it's really hot. And
Yeah.
so heat causes emphysema. And so if you can have cool smoke that's not hot, especially cannabis smoke, you're going to do well. Um, some people over time get to the point where they just can't smoke joints anymore. They have to turn to vaping because
Yeah.
they've just fucked themselves up smoking joints all the time. So the hot smoke, hot dabs, really not good for you. Really not good. Low temp dabs, better, much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a bong hitter. I find it to be a better delivery system.
I like that, man. And you raised some pretty interesting points there as well, man. Like just the fact that the bong hits are a little bit cleaner, the joints can taste a little bit funny sometimes, when it gets lower down. And I've actually hit that moment where I was like, "Oh, this joint doesn't taste good anymore." It
Yeah,
started off great, like what's happened?
yeah,
Um, but like also the ice thing, man, that's a super controversial one. You know that, right? A lot of people like they either love the ice or they hate the ice. They say like the vapors and stuff can go into your lungs and like cause issues as well. But personally, man, I love the soft bong hits with the ice in there.
me too.
Yeah, I'm not going for any hot water. I've heard of people actually putting soda in there and using like
Yeah,
Coca-Cola and shit.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, dude. That's a bit too much for me. I'm gonna have to say that, man. But you also mentioned vaping, so that leads us nicely to our next question: edibles or vapes?
Edibles.
Edibles. Oh, interesting, man. Why edibles?
I like for pain relief
I got
mostly.
you. Yeah,
Mostly.
makes a lot of
Um,
sense, man.
Vaping is unless you got a really good vape, it's not that great.
Yeah,
It's a little expensive, and I don't know. I just have found over time it's easier to just kind of do that edible thing. One
yeah,
thing also I think about vapes is like the hash vaporizer pens and stuff like that, or like your Puffco.
yeah,
All those things get really gummed up and dirty fast. So keeping them clean and working properly sometimes is a bitch, especially
yeah,
with some products more than others.
yeah,
So I just pretty much burn flour. I do green screen where I put the hash. I'll put my sugar on top of my bong hit.
I like that one. I
So
like
I
that
kind of
one.
get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I like that one, man. Shout out to Spartan Gross as well. He actually mentioned that he likes to do that as well, man. You guys know what's up, dude. Awesome stuff, man. Well, I think that was an awesome Know Your Bud segment, man. I was able to find out a little bit more about you, and a lot of viewers were able to find out a little bit about you and how you do stuff, man. And just speaking about that, man, I've actually got a nice little picture up on screen right now, and it's showing just how harsh environments can be over where you're growing at, man. It can be super cold. It can be a little bit, on the more extreme side of things at times. So tell us a little bit about, your current setup and some of the challenges that you may have been facing, just keeping your environments in check.
Yeah, so like here in where I'm at in the Willamette Valley, we get 100-degree days in the summer and we get snow and ice in the winter. So we get all of it.
Fuck.
Last year it started raining in like October and didn't stop raining until June.
Wow.
So we had a really wet year last year here in the valley. But like for me, the big thing is if these situations don't cause power outages. I don't have backup generators, so if the power goes out because of the weather, I'm kind of hosed. Otherwise, my rooms are really, really well insulated. I'm running a mini split, which was a game changer for me.
Ooh,
Um, I
dope.
can I can set it on an auto setting, and it'll just stay within the zone that I set it to, heat or cold. So, like if it's winter and the lights go out and it's the temperatures start to dip, the heat will come on. If it's hot outside and the temperatures are up, then it's all AC. So
Dope.
it's really cool. And the new mini splits have apps that you can download on your phone that control the mini split. So I just set 2 alarms every day on my phone. One wakes me up in the morning when the lights go out, and I turn down the temperature for their nighttime temperature. And then I get an alarm when the lights go on, and then I turn the temperature up for their daytime temperature. And
Yeah.
that's basically how I rock my environment.
That is awesome, man. And another thing that I noticed actually is that you got like a little humidifier in there for your bedroom at times. So what is like your humidity? Does it like swing a lot? So like does it
Mhm.
change what during the summer as it would during the winter and stuff like that?
Yeah, it does change a lot. Our summers obviously can get really dry. And then sometimes in the like in the February months when it's really super cold,
Got you.
it gets really dry. The humidity will crash. So it's my struggle really is keeping my bedroom at 60% humidity.
Wow.
My humidity in my rooms runs pretty low consistently.
Yeah,
And now that I have LED from HLG, it's not as bad as it used to be with HID
I got you.
as far as dropping the humidity.
Yeah.
But it's still something that I gotta fight with. So flour doesn't really it stays in the 50 range, I'm cool with that. But in the veg, when it gets down into the 40 range, I'm not happy at all. So yeah, I really have to supplement some kind of moisture in my bedroom.
I got you. I got you. Nice, man. And like you do a lot of like training as well, man. I see you got a lot of different training methods you employ. But one thing I always notice is the scrog frames, the trellis nets, the double scrog frames. Like you really got some intense training methods going on there. So tell us a little bit about like how long would you usually veg your plants for and what sort of training methods do you usually use?
In veg, as soon as the plant gets about 5 or 6 nodes high, I give it a hard top.
Okay.
So I'll hard top the top node and then let everything kind of branch out from there.
Yeah.
And then I just let it kind of grow out its natural structure for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And then I put it into the flower room and I start training it. And the reason I use a scrog is because your light only has a certain footprint
Yeah.
and it's only going to put down a certain amount of light. And so if you have every square inch of that footprint trained out with tops, your yields are going to be way better than if you just have a single plant that maybe some of the lower stuff is larvae and not weighing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I try to scrog everything out so that the footprint of the light is being covered. And then I clean all the bottoms up to the scrog. I mean, strip it all the way up
Yeah.
so that,
Lollipop that girl.
yeah, so that the canopy is getting all the energy and all of the growth from the plant.
Gotcha.
And then once the canopy starts developing and I have flower sites, I'll go through and I'll remove all the fan leaves that are covering up a flower site. And that kind of allows light to penetrate down and allows you to get um, weight all the way down. So your buds will be tight all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my training method. And that's why I do that, so that I can really maximize every square inch of my light footprint.
Hell yeah, man. That's amazing. I love that, man, because that's one thing I definitely noticed. You got a lot of structure going on because of those scrog frames and those trellis nets, man. And we all like those girls with nice, tight buds, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. I've actually just seen an old picture because earlier you mentioned that back in the day, you love glass and you used to hit the glass back in the day and stuff. And I've actually just seen this one here right now, man. This is one of the old pictures, the old pictures with the homie, man. And you actually said it on here, man. Some of the killer green bud, some of that old skunk, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a throwback for you, man. And there's another throwback right here as well. And this one is with Tommy Chung, dude. So how is it like to kick it with Tommy, meet him back in the day? And this seems to be before he was busted. You guys were talking about raising kids and family, man. Awesome moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Tommy, this is like probably 2 or 3 months before he got busted. There was a Little Stink festival in Portland, and his son's glass company was sponsoring one of the sponsors for the event.
Yeah.
And they got Tommy to come on and announce each band, MC in between each band, and announce the bands. So I won backstage passes to the event, and Tommy went up and announced the next band, and then he came down, and I was there, and I was sitting on a log resting, and he came down and sat next to me, and we just bullshitted about, because I had brought my daughter with me.
Yeah.
I'd won the tickets to bring her, and so we just basically sat down and shoot the shit about raising kids and having a family and all that kind of shit. It was really it was great. I got to hang out with him for like for the whole band set until he went up and announced the next band. So it was a lot of fun, and the circumstances of his arrest were absolute and complete bullshit. It was a huge blow to our community, and it just kind of it was just kind of like a statement of how our community is treated by the government and by most entities and organizations.
Hell yeah, dude. It's so true, man. It's like most entities, most organizations, and that's why CannaBuzz is so important, man. So literally, you guys need to head on over to CannaBuzz, see what's going on over there. If you haven't signed up yet, definitely sign up, man. We've got a lot of people on there, and I think you need to be part of it, man. And CannaBuzz has actually been making waves, and I think so much so that Instagram actually didn't really like it, did they?
No, they deleted our account.
Yeah, dude. Like literally, I saw this post. It's like it finally happened. Instagram banned us. So I was like, damn, man. Like Instagram is really being that petty, bro.
Yep.
They are. It seems that they definitely are.
Yeah, for a while we weren't even on their radar, but then once we started getting, I think we're at like 19,000 followers or something like that. Yeah. That's when they killed us.
Damn, bro. Well, hopefully they stop being super petty, because that shit is pretty whack, if you ask me, and pretty crazy. But another thing I wanted to ask, and probably one of the last things before we close off, guys, is that you've been to a lot of events, man, and you've been to a lot of different events all over the world. I see you traveling all over the country, and you just hit up a lot of different places. So if you had to say, like, one of your favorite events, or maybe two of them, which ones would those be?
Wow. Of course, I'm gonna love the Dude Grows
All of
cups,
the DGC cups,
the
all of
DGC cups.
them.
But no, actually the picture you have up right now is from Seattle Hemp Fest,
Sweet.
and it was the festival goes along the Puget Sound, and it's kind of spreads out for I think almost a mile.
Yeah.
And there were over like 10,000 people there when we went. There were bands and vendors. It was culture. It was industry. It was a great time. I think that one was huge. Me and Uncle Jim, shout out to Uncle Jim.
Uncle
We
Jim.
handed out over 10,000 CannaBuzz flyers that day to everybody who walked into the event.
Wow, hell yeah, dude. That is what you call like grinding and hustling, dude. Because like I handed out like maybe 50 at the last event I went to, and I felt like I did good. So props to you, brother. That's hardcore, and that's literally what you take to pump your business, man. To pump what you believe in, dude. So props to you on that, man, because you're doing something awesome out here in the community, and I think a lot of people appreciate that, dude. And guys, if you do, smash the like button for that, because that's what's up. And kicking it with JR Tokin is always an awesome time. As you guys can see, he's always out here in the community. He's kicking it with like the Harry Potter of weed, guys. That's what's up. That's the wizarding world right there.
Yeah, that was a Cowboy Cup, and we're going back again. So the Dude Grows crew will be at Cowboy Cup this year again.
Hell yeah, man. That's fucking amazing, man. And how does it feel like when you go out there and you're able to interact with all the people from the community? People come up to you, you take pictures with other people. How does it feel to just be part of that awesome community, dude?
It's great. And it's like, when we went to CannaCon, it had been a while because of COVID since, we really had good trade shows and conventions. So it was really great to run into old friends. We know a lot of the reps and stuff like that. And so it's good to run into old friends and, just catch up and shoot the shit. And after the show, go have dinner and all that fun stuff. So that's always a good time. I mean, I really love going to these events and meeting people and sharing my flower. And, it's a good time. It's really, it is kind of, I mean, when someone comes up to you and asks for a picture with you, it's at first it's kind of strange because you're just not used to that. It's like, you want a picture with me? Why the hell?
Yeah, who am I?
Right? But no, it's really an honor, and I appreciate everybody out there. And thanks to everyone out there who shows me love. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. Most definitely. And we're always about spreading the love, guys, and sharing that info and just helping everyone to grow better flowers and, just build an awesome friggin' community, man. That's what it's all about. So, JR, I think we've touched on a lot of different things today, man. We touched on germination. We've touched on CannaBuzz, which is definitely where everyone needs to head over to. We've just spoken on so many different things, man. So for all the people that want to find you, get in touch with you, if they got any questions, man, where can they do that, bro?
You can find me at J.R. Tokin on CannaBuzz. You can the same on Instagram and the same on YouTube. Those are basically the three platforms that I put my content out on.
Perfect, man. And definitely smash the like button for that, man. JR has been an awesome friggin' guest. We always have an awesome time when JR is around, man. And he's growing some crazy friggin' flowers, dude. Like, if you guys don't believe me, definitely check out his Instagram and you'll see it for yourself. He's got over 2,000 posts on there, and like 100% of them are frosty, fiery nugs. And we know that's what you love on this channel, man. So, JR, thanks so much for kicking with us, man. I had a friggin' blast, man. And I hope we can do it again sometime soon, dude.
Absolutely, and we'll love to have you on Cannabis Sessions. We'll
Hell
get you
yeah,
booked.
man. I would love that, man. We'll make that happen for sure, dude, man. So, guys, smash the like button for that. Definitely give JR a follow. I'll put links to all his stuff down below. And we'll see you on the next one, man. Stay high and stay fly. Peace.
Growers love.
Hell yeah.